Notebook. Fuck.
And we live.
I'm still dealing with this shit. I'm going to try to make it before. Looks like he said he's going to try to make it before something.
Well, whatever, Shane. What's up, everybody?
What is up, people?
Get the chat up.
I just now read the response to that fire as fuck picture of all them sexy D&D ladies I posted. Nice job, everybody. What the fuck gay shit we got going on here? Nothing? Nothing?
Not nearly as sexy as they used to be, though.
Damn. Well, I did, that's 3.5 illustration right there. Some of the best stuff.
Monster Manual is full of half-naked ladies.
Yeah, that old school shit.
Well, the originals
Here's the
had
Sphinx.
actual tits in them.
Yeah, oh yeah. Here's a Sphinx and here's some titties with it.
Terrible wizards. Fucking terrible.
Wow, that's a different time, right? 80s. 80s movies, and you ever notice how like 80s movies have random rape scenes in them and shit, right? Can't do that today. Well, it's harder to do that.
Apparently you
just have
can,
horror movies.
as long as it's a guy. What was the Shape of Water?
The Shape of Water.
Where the chick
Yeah.
falls in love with the dude made out of water.
Shape of Water.
But the whole thing was the guy had like the IQ of like a 5-year-old or some shit.
The Shape of Water.
Yeah,
What the
it won all
fuck?
sorts of awards for being.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't this critically acclaimed?
Yeah,
This movie does not sound interesting.
yeah, it won all sorts of Sundance Film
Right.
Festival and that kind of shit awards. But yeah, it's
Ah.
basically this chick has sex with the mentally deficient water person.
Water person. Okay. Wow, jeez. I'm getting the poster right now. It looks like ass. It looks like straight ass cheeks. Okay. All right. So
What up, Jay Caesar?
is he mentally deficient, or does he not understand the mores and human nature because he's a water person? What a ridiculous
I know,
fucking
right?
sentence that is.
I think it's just like based on how he acts. Like, he acts like a child.
Oh,
You know what I
ooh,
mean?
that's
Like,
not cool. Yeah.
that kind of thing. Because I didn't
Alright.
watch it. I ain't gonna fucking watch it.
Not to get too preachy, but you do the whole reverse the genders thing on that one, and
Oh,
where does
dude,
it leave
yeah.
you with? Not good. It was the highest. The mode rating was an 8. 8 out of 10 was the mode rating.
I wonder what that's. I want to see what it Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh fuck it, dude! Rotten Tomatoes, right? If people like it and the reviewers hate it, it's good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That used to be a good website to go get some honest opinions. Now it's pretty much garbage.
Oh wow. 92% for critics, 74% for audience. I'm surprised it got that
Garbage.
high.
Yeah, that's still pretty telling.
Yeah, what was okay, so The Last Jedi.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, I want to see this shit.
Yeah. So
Trash
Last
that
Jedi,
shit.
91% for critics, 47%
Oh, yeah.
for audience. And
Hell
then
yes.
what was the new one with Bruce Willis?
Fuck out of here.
That was a remake.
Who's Bruce Willis? Man, you're more in touch with movies than I am. I couldn't be bothered.
You
with
don't know who Bruce Willis is?
this. No, just the current.
Scared.
God,
I was like going,
it was a
"Dear
remake of
God."
something. The dude,
Got me on that
his
one.
family died or something, so he goes on a rampage.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's gonna be hella low critics, but hella high audience.
Yeah, that one was low critics and high audience because they
Death
said it was
Wish.
just too much. Yeah, too much pro-Trump crap, and there was no pro-Trump crap. It was simply just guns and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
vigilante. But they
Old white
couldn't-
guys
they-
committing violence.
Yep.
Yeah.
17%
Oh,
critic,
especially-
80% audience. Oh.
Yeah, especially whenever he killed that black guy in there, they freaked out on that.
Can't do that.
I'm like, come on, man. It was part of the fucking movie. It's not like that he killed him because he was black.
Man, Super Troopers 2, 33% critic, 61% audience.
Why even follow up that movie? You know, it's just a losing proposition because no matter how funny it is, it won't be associated with the fond memories you have of watching the first one. So people are always just going to be let down with it, even if it is funny.
Yeah, they probably shouldn't have made a second one of that.
I also think Beer Fest is criminally underrated. That movie's pretty funny.
That was a pretty funny movie. Although I think it got a little too silly.
When Landfill's twin comes in.
Well, Cyrus, when it comes to like what the critics like, or like, because I mean, like if it won an Oscar, that means the critic usually loved it, and that to me typically means that it just really isn't always that good. There's very few Oscar-winning or critically acclaimed movies that I actually can stand watching.
It used to not be so bad. Like,
yeah, you hear these days, and usually whenever I look at if I look at a reviewer, when I go to buy like a ticket, if the reviews are like popping up, if it says like 98% critic review, but like 76% moviegoer or 56% moviegoer, I'm like, probably not, man. I'll go see it, but I end up leaving if I want to see it, I'll end up leaving the thing like, but the audience was more in tune with what was going on.
I don't know about other review industries. You know, the Oscars in Hollywood, that's all corrupt as shit, right?
Oh yeah.
And Rotten Tomatoes and the internet reviewers, right? The internet conglomerate viewers or whatever, they're full of shit. They're pushing agendas. So unless you have like a critic that you trust, like I trust Dunkey, right? When he reviews a movie or a video game or whatever he's talking about, I trust his critique, right? You don't have to agree with someone, but you know who they are and what they like, And
you know what I usually do is, like if I see like even with games or whatever, if like when they show them off like at E3 or send out a teaser trailer on Twitter or whatever, or a movie, same thing. If I like the trailer, that's all that makes a shit to me. Like I've already set up my mind. Like I've never once looked at a review for, like I've seen reviews beforehand, but that's never made my decision one way or the other to do it. So I've never like sunk like, I don't know how you say it, seeked out a reviewer's opinion.
Sought
Out, yeah.
Yes.
I've never sought out a reviewer's opinion in order to decide if I'm going to go watch a movie or buy a game. Because I remember I'm old, so I come back from like when video games, we didn't have reviews and shit like that. The only thing we had was
the cover art on the back of the box.
You pick up the box and you look at it and go, yep, that looks good. And so I kind of stuck with that, that mindset over the years. Like whenever when we would go see movies, we didn't have, not really Metacritic, but Rotten Tomatoes. We had a TV show that came on like once a week that was like Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah.
And I never watched it, so I was like, fuck it. We just went, if we saw a movie preview that we liked, me and my dad or my family went to go see it. And that just kind of has stuck with me over the years. Like I've just never let another person's opinion sway what interests me and what doesn't interest me.
Luckily movies were cheaper back then, huh?
Oh God, they were a hell of a lot cheaper.
Not as much of a risk. Yeah, the trailer thing is cool too. The brain kind of knows what you want before you do, right? It can tell you pretty much.
Yes, I mean if that trailer hits your good spots,
yeah,
like it'll let you know. But I mean, also like I've seen some trailers and go, this thing is showing all the funny parts in the trailer. You can just tell.
Yeah, that's the tough part about comedies.
Yeah, so when I see that, I'm just like, I'd like to see it, but it's probably one of those things that, we've seen all the good parts. And then if my wife, ends up going, no, I really want to see it, then we'll go. Otherwise, we'll wait for a rental on those. But if it's like an action movie or whatever, a drama, like if they do a good job with the promo, I'm like all over it. I'm like, yep, I'm buying the ticket as soon as that thing pops up. And today I bought my ticket for Infinity War. Because, we all know that one's scored like a 98% on both. Because, Rotten Tomatoes
Marvel.
is like
nobody rates that shit down.
well, Rotten Tomatoes is, to me, they've joined the SJW nonsense, and Marvel pays off half the people in there, and well, Disney does. Because if you review a Disney movie bad, they'll disinvite you to the other ones.
Yeah.
So there was actually like the LA Times, whatever, reviewed one of their movies. Like I forgot what movie it was a long time ago. And we're talking the LA Times, a huge fucking syndicate for movies. And Disney barred the LA Times from ever going to review a movie again of theirs. And then it took a long time for LA Times to work its way back into the fold. And so, yeah, I mean, I that's the reason why I can't trust reviews, because I think a lot of them are paid for.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, like you, I mean, I guess if you found like an independent guy that doesn't really get free shit up front, like free copies and shit, then maybe you can you can trust those people a little bit more, I guess, if you find one that you can kind of align yourself with. But I can't trust anybody that gets a free copy of a game or a free screening of a movie, because it's almost like you're being paid to give it a review. Like they trust that you're not going to trash this game. Man, trash this movie.
You guys are tripping. You got to go meta like me, and you read IGN, but you do the opposite. So when they say they hate a game, I'll know I'll love it, right? Because like they'll review Duke Nukem Forever, and man, all these sexist jokes, and I hate this shit. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I like sexist jokes. I'll probably love it.
Oh my God. Now, that's good. There's one problem though, in that IGN reviews often contradict themselves, right? When you're reading them, you know, this game doesn't have a lot of single player replay content, and then in the positives it's like, you could spend a long time playing this game. It's like, you're not even trying.
Or it'll say like too many guns. Like what? Like isn't it the whole purpose of Uncharted, like with guns and shit? Like it just is, like Sea of Thieves, too much water. Well,
how did they?
Fucking boat game, you dumbass.
No, Rambo, come on. They should have set it up so that you can solve your problems without violence.
Oh yeah, God.
Oh fuck. Yeah, I don't.
Oh dear God, Halo Storm, did you just say you actually listened to Crap Gamer's fucking reviews?
Well, you know.
Or do you ironically listen to his reviews? Because if you actually listen to his reviews for actual guidance, you just like became one of the dumbest people I fucking know.
Who is this guy? I haven't heard of him.
Crap Gamer? Oh dear God, a guy that doesn't play games. Like, he's been proven on the PS4 reviews that he's actually stole footage from other channels.
Hell yeah.
And used it for his review. He called Sea of Thieves.
Hell yeah.
Sea of Thieves. Like, the thing with that, it's a beautiful looking game, but it only has 3 fucking quests in it. He called that his game of the generation.
Of the generation.
Oh, and I'm like, oh, God. Dear God. Like,
Yeah, it's a it's a YouTube phenomenon thing. He's got a very cool rhino logo.
He's a dumbass.
I don't get it. Why do people try and do shit like stealing other people's content? You're going to get found out. Who has not gotten found out?
What's crazy is that whenever he got found out, that he gained more subs. Like, it just attracted all the dumbasses. I guess either dumbasses to like him, or the ones that subbed to him to see if he was going to do it again.
Nice.
But he never addressed it. Like, he was smart. Like, he is very smart with the whole drama shit. When people stir shit up with him or expose him for shit, he never even talks about it. Like, he never talks about, like, anybody's other videos. Like, you'll go to some YouTubers that have had a video done on them, and they'll address it, right? this motherfucker don't address shit. And it just kind of like, I think that the fact that he doesn't entertain the idea of those things, it just makes him kind of, I want to say untouchable when it comes to that type of shit, because he doesn't play into the hands of, you know, the other people trying to expose him and stuff. So I don't know. It's kind of.
Well, if his fans, what's good, Trism? You should fucking get in here since Shane is fucking lagging.
Being a bitch today.
Right? But yeah, if his fans don't watch any of the other people, then they're not going to give a shit, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's really simple. It's so hard to resist getting into it when you think the other person is wrong, right? You are going to say something about it. You are going to defend yourself. You're going to call them out. But if you do, yeah, in some cases you're doing more damage.
Yeah. But he's smart with that though. So I mean,
what are we talking about?
Crap gamer.
Crappy gamer.
I don't think I've seen one of his videos in a long time.
Yeah, I've seen a few like response videos to him, but that's about it. Same thing with Shower Cap.
Just play the game. Get your own movie. It's so easy now. You just press the button and it starts recording for you. Man, I just cannot stop praising Dunkey. I think it's the best video game channel out there.
Who? Dunkey?
Dunkey, video game Dunkey.
Oh yeah, you're not wrong, bro. I agree.
He really puts thoughts into his reviews, and his character is funny because he sounds really stupid, but of course the content of it is really great. He knows what he's talking about.
I've never watched him.
I'll send you a funny one. I'll make sure I get a good one.
Dude, he recently played. I'm looking at some of his recent videos. The Far Cry one was pretty good.
4.6 million subscribers. Yep. Tom Clancy's Fortnite.
Yeah, I saw that one.
It has Tom Hanks on the picture.
Doesn't even make sense.
That's the point. Oh, I get it. That's not Tom Clancy. He didn't make Fortnite.
Silly nonsense.
Oh, the beasts of rage. That one have you just fucking crying.
Paladins Battlegrounds.
There's a dude who hits a guy.
I like the Injustice 2 one. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I know, we're just all debating on E3, like, we're going to have Smite, Battle Royale, Red Dead Redemption Battle Royale.
Call of Duty Battle Royale.
Yeah, No Man's Sky Battle Royale.
Oh God,
the new Jesus Mario Christ. Battle Royale.
Yeah, it's like somebody said they're gonna play a drinking game that every time Battle Royale is said that they have to take a shot.
Oh, they're gonna die.
Fuck, you're gonna be drunk on the first fucking night for the rest of the fucking week.
Now hold on, this trend will be gone soon, right?
No, it won't. No,
I don't think so.
It continues getting more and more popular.
I mean, it's just exponentially growing at this point. I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's been many trends, and I think this is just one of them. Like a few years ago, like how the big craze I think was just modern FPS games. Like those were like the big sellers. And then it started out as Minecraft clones. That took somewhat of a leap, and now it's just battle royales. But I think this is going to be a trend that keeps going for quite a while.
I kind of have a feeling that there's a possibility of the big publishers drowning out Battle Royale by the end of this year.
I could see that.
Yeah, they don't last forever.
I mean, I think Fortnite will still come out in the head, but because it's going to be hard to draw people away from a fun, free-to-play game to go pay $60 to play to play Battle Royale as well. But having basically every game battle, I think that the people are just going to be like, enough's enough. Like, this is too much, and they'll pick their one, and that'll be the one that survives. And I'm thinking that will be Fortnite. I think that the only people that really need to worry about it is PUBG. I think Call of Duty or Battlefield can definitely take away PUBG's popularity.
Yeah, probably.
Battlefield for sure, because of the fact that it'll suck the PC players away, because they love Battlefield anyway. But you put Battle Royale in there too, and I think that'll suck the big draw from the PC crowd online playing it. And then you put that on consoles too. That's on both consoles. I think that'll be the more popular. I guess that'll be the second popular Battle Royale game. I think PUBG will then be trying to sue everybody and their dog.
Man, there is a good thing about PUBG and Fortnite. I'm just very happy to see League of Legends not on the top fucking stream position for once. You know what I'm saying? God damn, it's always League.
Which I never understood, because Dota was so much better of a game.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there you go. You got lowest common denominator games. I played a lot of League when I prefer Dota, of course, but I played a lot of League when it was my 4 friends and I all playing with all 5 people. And then once you got the full party, it doesn't really matter what game you're playing. It's going to be fun, right? But trying to play that game by yourself, that is an exercise in futility.
Well, yeah, it's toxic as fuck.
Yeah, Dota's not much better.
I don't understand
but the game's better.
I don't understand the pool of like the games like Dota and League of Legends. League of Legends is so fucking boring to me.
It's Dota's great. League of Legends is I mean, if you like that style, God, I played so much Dota 1. I was motherfucking playing that game all the time.
Now that's with some toxic shit.
Oh yeah, and you didn't have to worry about getting banned or anything like that.
God, Warcraft 3, Dota maps, oh my God,
yeah.
people fucking rip into you if you fucking messed one thing up.
Yep, it was a tough ass game, but if you fucking survived it, you rose to the top, right? Love that, very many fond memories of that. The game kind of lends itself to Salt because you have to work so hard to get where you are, and then it's blown in a second, right? One fucking time you die, and then bam, that's it. Over time, they've become more and more forgiving, but man, especially back then, it was fun. The game was on a knife edge, right?
That's the thing. It's one of the most the MOBA genre it's some of the most tactical games that you can play.
On one side of it, yeah.
Yeah.
On the other side, it's you press the R button and your character does its best thing. Like that's what the fighting game players all say about MOBAs.
Yeah,
but it's not about that. It's about the tactics.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's a whole lot of stuff that you got to keep. Positioning and your creeps and their creeps and where are your teammates and what kind of items are you getting, and it's a lot of things to keep track of and
gold and economy.
Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I love Dota too. It was a great game.
Kind of getting weird though. I'm not as much of a fan of it now.
Well, yeah, that whole subscription thing. World of Warcraft fucked it up for everybody.
Dude? I see that Battle of Azeroth thing. This is my unpopular opinion time. I see the Battle of Azeroth, and it's like it just a little bit tempts me inside of it to look into it. And I know if I look into it, I'll want to buy it. But I still maintain the most fun I've ever had playing a video game for the PvP aspect of it has probably been World of Warcraft PvP.
Oh, dude, Burning Crusade PvP, bro. That was my shit.
Very unpopular opinion, but...
Yeah, Burning Crusade Battlegrounds were great, but they fucked it up with Wrath of the Lich King.
I liked both Battlegrounds and Arenas. I love Arenas.
I couldn't get into Arenas.
No.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Fortnite, they've got a new update, which are getting meteors, a revamped 50 on 50, an LMG, and I guess some more stuff. So people who play Fortnite, I'm not gonna pay for that game.
You don't have to.
On PC you do if you want to play it.
What do you mean?
It's not free to play yet.
On Fortnite, the Battle
Battle
Royale.
Royale?
I don't.
Battle Royale?
Battle Royale
The Battle-
is
Yeah.
not the whole game though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but Battle Royale. Okay, Battle Royale is the whole game because it's
Wow,
a separate,
yeah.
completely separate game.
I still play PUBG either way, free or not.
And speaking of things that Rambo hates, Xbox says May updates adding a couple of things, including higher refresh rate.
I
That's a bad thing.
No, it's not. But Rambo hates Xbox, so.
don't hate Xbox. Dear God, you're gonna play right into Halo Storm's little thing. I got you now.
He's just jealous Xbox has free
Sea
sync
of
and
Thieves?
PS4 doesn't.
Oh God, yeah, I'm just so jealous. As
Uh,
I'm playing God of War in 29 frames per second, I don't give a shit.
I can't do that.
I know, right? I can't even do 60
It's-
anymore, dude. 60 is a slideshow to me.
Are you
It's
serious?
smooth.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like Witcher 3 was maxing out my video card all the time, and I didn't want to run it that hot for just a single player game, so I capped it at 60. And fuck, man, it takes getting used to again. Yeah, dude, 140 is where it's at.
Oh, you're not wrong.
Yeah, don't hate Cyrus. Us master racers, you know. No, that's the thing. It's different for movies and TV because with movies and TV, there's no variation whatsoever,
And
There's
you're
no
not.
direction.
There's no input.
and that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a completely different thing. But I mean, you can tell the difference though. It's what people call the soap opera effect on new TVs, where the motion looks too smooth, and that's because of that
Always
new
wondered.
thing that some of those TVs have, where it's like a frame interpolation, where it'll take the frame and then the next frame, and it'll make a frame that's in between it, and it looks weird. Shadowcan, I can tell when, like especially Overwatch is when I see it. Because it's usually at 140 steady, but every once in a while it'll dip down to like 120 something, and I can tell when it drops down to 120. Yeah, I can't stand that. I see that soap opera effect. It totally does. It looks exactly like a soap opera where it looks like it's been made on a home video camera or something. It just looks weird as fuck.
And polished. Like everything shines for some reason.
No, I play them, but you know, it's a slideshow.
Oh, damn.
J. Caesar asks Rambo, do you like God of War?
Oh, it's not. It's like so far the game of the generation. That game is fucking just phenomenal.
Hot damn. That's cool.
What about the story so far?
The story is just, yeah. I mean, it's definitely gripping because like it starts off really fucking gripping. Like it grabs you pretty quickly, and I mean, I think that it really does me because like or people with kids because you can relate a little bit more than I guess just just being part of it. But man, it just like it really grabs you, and then kind of you want to keep playing to see how their relationship progresses, and the kid really never gets in your way at all ever. Like they've made it to where like there's no waiting on the person to like climb up the thing or get walk meander around the map to try to wait for him to hop up on the wall where you're at or whatever, or boost him up or whatever. There's just no waiting period at all for that. Like as soon as you go to jump on a wall or climb up the thing, the kid just automatically bam jumps on your back, and it just without you don't even have to do anything to do it. It just happens. And if you go over there and you jump up and the kid doesn't come up on your back, then he automatically jumps up right there with you. There's absolutely no waiting on that the dumb AI to realize, oh, okay, I've got to go up there. Like he's just there on the spot every single time. When you're in combat, he spreads himself far enough away from you, and to where you can be fighting the guys and then hit the square button, and he'll shoot an arrow to help stun them. But I mean, he's like so far away from you that you never run into him. Like it's never really a bother having him around. You just know that he's there for help.
Nice.
They've done a really phenomenal job with creating that, or using the extra the extra character, and then also to me, like I was telling you before we started, Peter, like the cutscenes, like it flows, like you never really feel like that you hit a cutscene, because it just kind of like you're in the exact same screen that you were. It's just simply they just start talking and nothing changes. Like, so like the graphics don't get better or anything like that. It just simply stays. Like it's just one continuous shot. It's fucking phenomenal.
Sounds like they did it really well.
Yeah, it's definitely deserving of that 95.
Shadowkin throwing shade though, saying Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be game of the generation.
Shadowkin doesn't know what he's talking about.
Ooh, those Kingdom Hearts players are weirdos.
I didn't say that, Shadowkin.
But we are.
Well, I mean, okay, Shadowkin, let's pretend like Kingdom Hearts 3 is actually going to come out this generation. Like how many years kind of talked about Kingdom Hearts 3?
Just saying, Donkey's got a great video on Kingdom Hearts. Putting it out there.
But I've learned that I think Polygon does not need, either Polygon or IGN does not need to talk about Kingdom Hearts, because they absolutely have no fucking idea what the hell they're talking about.
Well, that would require them to actually do research.
Yeah, or play the games.
Yeah.
It requires them to be journalists. And what do you think they are, journalists?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
What's funny
that's
is
silly talk.
Okay, Yakuza 6, right? Yakuza 6. We're not 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but Yakuza 6, the last game of this protagonist's story. Like his story started in 0 and then went all the way to 6, but it was a continuation every single game. Like it just kept on picking up and moving on from where it left off, and you kind of continue. Well, Polygon puts out a thing saying that for those that haven't played a Yakuza game before, Yakuza 6 is a great starting point. And I'm like, what? Why would you tell people that? Yeah, start at the last fucking game, like where you're not gonna know any sort of backstory of anything, and this is the last time you're gonna get to play as that fucking protagonist. It makes no sense at all what they did.
Well, does the story, I know there's some games out there, they can do that well, where even though you never played the previous games, you can still at least feel engaged in the game, at least, or maybe the story.
Well, I mean, you won't be able to feel engaged in the story. You'll be able to feel engaged in the combat and stuff in the gameplay, but the story is definitely one that you'll need to know like the previous story and like because it's a full continuation like as he's growing in this thing. So I mean, you've got to be able to play the whole kind of thing to be able to fully understand what's going on. Like, I mean, I'm sure you could probably play it and understand it to a degree, but it would be kind of pointless to play the very last one, like to play Uncharted 4 and say that's a good starting point for the Uncharted games, when Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 was a full continuation of Drake and Elena's and Sully's story to come to the culmination of what Uncharted 4 is, and then you're never going to get to see Drake and, you know, play as Drake again. And it just seems kind of like a pointless thing to jump in the very last. If you're going to jump in, at least go back and pick up at least the ones that are on, you know, the PS4 right now, the Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami and Kiwami 2 and Yakuza 6. I mean, why not actually do those at least? And then you're missing 3 and 4 and 5. You know, at least be able to get some sort of like backstory about what you're playing.
I can see Uncharted 4 being a good starter for people to get into the game, and then and the great thing about them putting the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection on PS4 is that now people who probably got
it's really easy to actually jump in and start playing those games because you actually have the ability to play all 4 of them on one system.
Uncharted was a series I never got into.
Pete, kick him off.
Well, he doesn't have a PlayStation.
Oh, get him the fuck off this damn thing.
Hey, I don't have a PlayStation.
We're master racers, yo.
What in the fuck, man?
I have a PS3. That's about it.
I'm here with a bunch of fucking peasants.
Okay.
I play fighting games sometimes and Dungeons and Dragons.
Hey, bro, I had a PS4 about 3 years ago.
Man.
And I did what no one should ever do. But I was
Sell
15. Not just that I sold it. No, I gave it to GameStop. I was 15, and oh man, I was stupid.
God.
Oh, I was stupid.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, but it's okay though. Now I'm much older and wiser, and I have all this experience under my belt. So you know it's all good.
You've learned your lesson.
Exactly, I learned my lesson. Don't go to GameStop.
Okay. I forgive you.
Although I have legitimately thought about picking up a used PS4 just for the sake of it.
There you go. There you go.
The problem
Older and wiser, which is why you play the PC.
True that. But the problem with having a PS4 is that I don't know how I'd hook it up because I really don't feel like unhooking my 2 monitors and hooking my PS4 to it because that just sounds like a pain in the ass. That's why I have everything on one box. Everything I can do, everything I can play under one thing. So I never got the idea of different generations or different systems. Sounds like a pain in the ass. That's just me.
You're not wrong.
Like, I mean, I have no use for my PS2
now,
anymore.
Pete, let's
I do
be
actually
real,
play
okay?
my PS2.
He is wrong.
Objectively, huh?
Objectively, yes. You are, I mean, the PlayStation family is objectively better than any other gaming platform out there.
Man, objectively is a strange word in this.
Objectively. Well,
Yeah.
I objectively disagree.
We use the word objectively very liberally around here.
Nice. Very liberal with the facts.
I mean,
There's reason for it because people like to this day I still have people harassing me because they argue that the PC is objectively better than console.
people still say that? Like,
Yeah,
I thought that became a meme already.
Oh, it did. For
Okay.
us, I mean,
Peter,
like,
what
we-
kind of
we
podcast
use it,
you
but-
dragged me into?
Yeah.
Well, there's no way that it's objectively better because there's.
Well, that's okay.
You go into so many subjective matters.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think what they mean by the argument is on the things that you can measure objectively, PC obviously has the advantage.
Right.
But that's not the same thing as saying X is objectively better than Y.
No, for
That's a completely whole separate argument
And that's what I was trying
Yeah.
to tell them, is because they were saying X is objectively better than Y, and I was like, no. Because I can point out one of X that's not objectively better, that's weaker than Y, and it doesn't fit your narrative. Well, we're not talking about those. Well, that's not how that works. Like, when you say X is objectively better than Y, I mean all of X's and all of Y's, not just what the subset you want to talk about. And yeah, that went on for, well, the argument on Twitter went on for like 3 months straight, every single day. And then after that, I finally.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, then after that, like they literally for like about a year and a half now have not left me alone.
I think I know who.
Oh, you
might
do.
be speaking of, yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Do they run a YouTube channel by any chance?
Yeah.
Who doesn't, right?
Well, you're not wrong, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well,
My
to be
favorite
fair
Metal Gear
though,
Solid.
Rambo does get into 3-month-long arguments with everybody on Twitter about nearly everything.
This
So.
is true, but not those 3 month long arguments. I'm always turn into a year and a half fucking full of harassment.
Yeah.
Harassment.
When they started coming up there and sending you DMs about your dying son and your raped daughter, then yeah, it becomes harassment.
True. Yeah, I didn't know about all that.
Yeah, the internet's a weird place.
It's giving a lot of people balls.
No, anonymous balls, you know.
Yeah.
The best kind of balls to have. My favorite Metal Gear Solid streamers are on. They do all the games, and they have like the most in-depth knowledge of the games, the secrets, the ways they were produced, and the decisions that were made. It's like they're very, very good at being able to play through the game and explain every little detail about it. They do all sorts of runs, like challenge runs and fork-only runs of Metal Gear Solid 3.
How could they
Pretty cool,
possibly
everything.
even keep one game straight?
Yeah, exactly, right? It's
Dude,
like,
running down the story of just one of those
Yep.
fucking games is just it's ludicrous.
It's ludicrous and awesome.
And the answer to everything is always nanomachines.
No, that's the answer to everything in 4. Yeah, definitely, absolutely for sure.
What about 5?
What about 5?
Oh,
Nanomachine.
what about it?
Nanomachine. The story in 5, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean that one doesn't count because of it was an unfinished product, right? Konami kicked him out, so he wouldn't. That wasn't the story the way that he wanted it told.
So.
And
Okay.
go for it, go.
Well, what's with the? Okay, I'm playing MGS5 right now, and granted, this is
Love the game.
probably the first Metal Gear Solid game I think I've actually sat down and played.
Oh, that's gonna be tough.
I could tell. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. Like,
No, it won't.
What's with the mystical shit? Like, what's with the people who?
Nanomachines, bro.
Oh, okay. Like this dude can turn into a fire dude out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Don't worry. Well, if you go into it expecting like James Bond, but without the campy, with like the real gritty tactical, stealth. Like,
I'm not expecting that.
Okay. Because yeah, there's magic shit that goes on in Metal Gear Solid, and that's a part of it.
Oh, I'm down with that. It took me back a little bit.
It's really weird, especially because the first couple weren't like that, or at least
hell yeah.
at least not so much.
Well, it's like I separate it into 2 parts. There's like the story that involves the characters, like especially the bosses, right? When you're fighting the main enemies, that's all the magic shit. All the story and those characters has the magic. When you're playing just the game, when you're getting somewhere, it's all like, tactical stealth, guns, AK-47s kind of stuff, right? So for me, it exists in 2 separate worlds. And I don't know, maybe that's like the storytelling decision that he went with. But 5 is the best one to play. It plays the most awesome. You have total freedom when you're playing 5. You can do any mission in any way you want, and the controls are just intuitive. But the story's all messed up because of the fact that Konami fired him, let him go from their totally corrupt and mob-run company. They are now a Yakuza mob company, and that is undisputed. The other games, while the gameplay is not as good, are also awesome. And the story is more cohesive, I guess, if they can actually be cohesive ever. But also cool character moments, man.
I'm playing 5, and like I said, I've never actually sat down and played an NGS game like properly. So 5 it stuck out a little weird. It made sense, like, okay, my character's waking up, he's been in a coma. All right, makes sense. And then now there's like this dude who's the Human Torch.
Love
and
that.
It was weird. It started out as kind of weird.
Hell,
I mean,
Not
if
bad.
you look at the new game that Kojima is making, it all of a
Yep.
sudden makes sense that all this crazy shit was in his game.
yeah, he's the man, dude. His stuff is good. So are you like in Afghanistan right now in Metal Gear Solid?
No, I am still in the hospital.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, I'm fighting this fire dude in the main lobby, I guess.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, you're still at the beginning.
I am at the
Dude, have
beginning.
fun.
The hour long intro.
Basically, yeah.
Game
It is literally an hour fucking intro.
I can see
hell
that.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just running around trying to look for something I can use to kill this dude.
You'll get it, I believe.
After I played that hour long intro, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna turn this off. And I haven't played it back again, but that intro was. I mean, because you would figure after you get done with the hour long thing that you've made some progress, and then but no, this when the fucking game actually starts.
Sounds about
Like-
right.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. I don't know how far ahead I am though in the intro. Like,
Ooh.
Well, you need that hour-long intro because otherwise, they got to set up all the crazy shit.
I'm already.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid definitely has some crazy shit in it.
What are you talking about? This is the dude who literally became the Human Torch. This is nothing unusual.
Oh, wait, I mean that's not really far fetched. I mean, compared to the earlier games, but yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some crazy shit that happens in that fucking game.
Oh, I know.
Oh, very nice. Very, very nice. They're all good. Even 4. Even 4 is good, kind of.
Oh, damn. They just turned the helicopter against them. All right.
Can't even remember all the crazy shit I remember seeing in those games.
Well, I just saw this dude start up a crashed helicopter, and it started spitting the blades and just killed everybody. That was actually kind of awesome, not gonna lie. Let's see what
Chris,
else.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Abba.
Well, no, I was just gonna say I don't know of any other game that I have recently that I need to start playing, but this is definitely one of them.
The most underutilized aspect of that game I really wish took off was the mother base mode, where you would set up your base and then go raid other people's and take their shit and steal their soldiers and get past their defenses, right? And the more you built up in your base, the more that was at risk to be stolen, but the harder it was to sneak through. And I fucking loved it. I don't think it was a very popular game mode, right, of the game, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I don't think it was criminally underused, I think.
So where does this game take place? Because like, other than Afghanistan, like at the beginning here, because I'm so confused on like what the world is.
Yeah, so you'll get out of the hospital. So Metal
It's
Gear
not
Solid
flat.
5, it's it goes Metal Gear Solid 3, right, Big Boss, and then Metal Gear Solid 1, Solid Snake, and then 2, and then 4, right? And 5 is in between 3 and 1. So you're still Big Boss, but it's the last game that you're Big Boss before it transitions over to Solid Snake. So somewhere in the 80s, the Russian-Afghanistan war, plus you take a couple side trips to Africa and shit.
Okay, because I don't know. Everything just seems. Oh, okay. Hold up.
Once
Sorry.
you get out into the open world in Afghanistan, dude, sneaking into those compounds and shit, it is the super dopest shit. Love that game.
Oh yeah, no, I love games like that where you have open worlds and you can. Well, that's kind of funny. The fire truck crashes through the fire, dude. So yeah, I like games like that where you have the open world and you can explore and do like enemy bases and whatnot. Sort of like Far Cry in a way, but not Far Cry.
I thought I could have swore there was another game that did that same thing where you had your own home base and you could raid other people's bases and
Fallout
shit.
4. No, I'm kidding.
I hope so, man. That's such a cool fucking way to play the game. And I think Metal Gear Solid 5 did it well. I'd be surprised if the servers were even still up, to be perfectly honest. The way Konami shafted Hideo Kojima like a bunch of idiots for their fucking pachinko machines. For their fucking Yakuza Run gambling dens.
Wait,
So-
what?
What?
Yeah. Oh, Konami is now like primarily mobile games and pachinko machines. And like heavy on the pachinko machines. That's all they do.
Why
in Japan.
why did they shaft Kojima though?
They fired him halfway through the game. They stopped funding and said you have to finish it the way it is. You have to release it the way it is now, basically. And he's like, the game's not fucking done. Why I can't release it now? And they said, nope, we're closing all our game development in departments and we're moving to pachinko machines because I'm sure the organized crime mafia bought them up. And now Konami doesn't make video games anymore. They just make pachinko machines.
Huh.
That's all right.
Oh,
Kojima's
fuck Konami, man.
right.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
Kojima's got his new thing coming out, and I'm sure that's because I'll bet you dollars that Konami was limiting what he could do in the games.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
they were crazy enough, but with the way this game, I can't remember the name.
Death Stranding.
Stranding. Thank you. But with the way this thing's coming out, showing up, Jesus fucking Christ, that's even weirder than Metal Gear and all that. So
Well,
yeah,
but that, like Sony gave Kojima like free reign to do whatever the hell he wants.
yeah. So I'll bet you like there were some things that he wanted to do with maybe the Metal Gears or something like that they probably said no, that's too crazy, we can't do that or something like that.
Well, I have to get going. I got a girlfriend over here, but there's
All
one
right,
thing.
man.
My final topic that I'll present to you is kind of like a success story. Well, yeah, kind of like a success story where I'm teaching, and I'm teaching 4th grade, and there's a 3rd grader who's a real son of a bitch, right? And so I'm
Good.
trying to. Oh yeah, it's not good. So I'm trying to become, and I know he's going to be in my class, right? So I have to do something at the end of the
So
year.
you really
to
are
come
a
into my
teacher?
class. Yeah.
Bless you,
4th
because
graders.
I would kill a bunch of fucking kids.
Ooh.
Well, they say that elementary
Rock.
school is like the best to start teaching
No,
because
I'd
that's
kill them too.
Absolutely terrible. But like because you're gonna become so patient, like a Zen warrior.
No,
it's not as bad as middle school. Although you're pretty much up there. You're getting into the transition of middle school. I've heard middle school is the worst to teach.
Yeah.
I would think high school because they're old, they're big enough to where I'd fight them.
Depends what grade. Like 11th to 12th is probably the easiest because they're pretty much adults at that point and they're pretty much just chill. They don't like start stuff. A lot of them don't. Not now, freshmen and sophomores, not so much because they're still pretty young. They're still coming from middle school and whatnot. And you know that age of like whenever you first become a teenager, you think that you know everything.
You're
You think-
hot shit, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. That's why middle school's been sort of noticed as the worst to teach. Elementary not so much because they're still like really young. You can actually, I don't know, merge their mind a little bit.
And pick their head up and slam it on the desk.
You could do that too, yes, but
The thing is that elementary school teachers, they have to work harder. Middle school teachers and high school teachers don't have to work as hard.
true.
And you can actually kick a kid out of your classroom, right? If once they're a problem, you can kick them out a lot of times. But in elementary school, you're basically stuck with it. Anyways, that's a whole sidebar about teaching and stuff. But so there's this 3rd grader, and he loves video games. And part of his behavior plan was if he is good, he's able to play the video games that are on the school laptops, right? Well, he says that these video games are bullshit and he doesn't want to play them anymore. Okay, so I said, he's coming into my class. I want him to be on my side before he gets there, because otherwise it's going to be a shit show. So I illegally put an emulator on my computer. And I said, okay, if you're good, we came up with a system where if you're good for this amount of time, you can come to my room and we will fucking play real-ass video games during lunchtime, every Friday, right, if you're good. So he hasn't gotten it yet. He's been a piece of shit the whole week because that's kind of who he is as a person. It's all good. He's a third grader, right? And so finally, the teacher is just like, I'm about to give up. You know, I don't know what to do with them. So I said, okay, I brought the stuff with me. I'm going to take him at lunch recess. I'm going to bring him in. So I put on Pocky and Rocky, one of my favorite Super Nintendo games, like a bullet hell. You're the little Japanese priestess girl, and you have the raccoon psychic, and it's a 2-player co-op bullet hell where you have to shoot all the enemies down, right, and run around. Game is hard as shit. So I said, hey man, I just want to show you this thing I brought. So I plugged it in, did the thing, got it on the projector, right, so it's all looking nice. And I'm playing Pocky Rocky, and I'm explaining to him, like, yeah, this is hard, man. You think your video games are hard? You won't even get past the first level in this, right? You got to block all these shots and shoot these things down, and it's super hard. I can't even beat the first level unless I practice. And instead he's like, can I play? It's my turn, right? And I said, absolutely not. And I just unplugged the controller, wrapped it up, put it away. But next week, if you're good, you and I, we can play some Pocky and Rocky. You can bring a friend and blah, blah, blah. And so hopefully it's like the history of video games, 101 brought into the school. And that's kind of a win.
Well, that's pretty cool.
If you make
like,
it. He might not.
If I was that third grader, I'd probably punch you though for doing that.
You wish, sucker. Be good in class. Maybe you can play. We'll see if it motivates him. It might not.
You just gotta find that one thing the kid cares a lot about.
Yep. And hopefully it's Pocky and Rocky, because that game is the shit.
All right,
gentlemen, it's been real.
Yep. See you later.
I'll see you all later. Have a good one.
And I guess Shane Whitley was lying. Motherfucker. So Valve's in some legal trouble, I guess.
Why?
The High Court of Australia dismissed a special leave application by Valve, which, yeah, the federal court, which I guess is like their appeals court, upheld the trial judge's ruling that Valve breached the Australian consumer law when selling to Australian users, and it'll have to pay the $3 million penalty.
That's $3 million will be paid by Valve.
Yep.
That's not a lot, but
I say he probably walks around with that in his fucking pocket.
I mean, but seriously though, like what was it that
What'd they do though?
What'd they do? Yeah.
It says the trial judge found that Valve had engaged in misleading or deceptive conduct and made false or misleading representations to Australian customers about their rights under consumer guarantees.
What were they misleading on?
I don't know.
Oh, sounds about right.
Yeah, a good article that really details everything out.
I know, right?
Whenever people do that, yeah.
And this is the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission.
See, that's one thing I hate about these other fucking countries is they have all these fucking like weird ass laws, and I couldn't imagine trying to keep being a company that does international business like Steam or PlayStation or Nintendo or whatever, like to where you have to actually keep up with all these fucking different consumer laws and write every terms of service different.
Oh, they have people for that. They have specific people.
Well, yeah, I know, but I would hate to be those people.
Well, I wouldn't. I don't think they mind because they just have to deal with that region. Like in,
yeah, I guess so. They'd have one for each region, right?
We got one for each area because remember everything.
Because I couldn't imagine trying to remember everybody's fucking laws and having to be the one person that writes it for everybody.
That's why they have different people. Like in Britain, I think they have some representatives for the company that deal with. Actually, no, they're more. I wouldn't say the lawyers, but they're more just people in the company who deal with making sure that they're on track with the country. They don't have one person, like a group of people who deal with that specifically. They have like one person or several people in one region for each.
Yeah.
Like Australia probably has a couple people working on that, maybe some other places, but yeah.
Jay Caesar does have a good point though. Is they're going to be in a lot of trouble because when they go to pay out $3 million, how are they going to count the three?
There's those. I don't like that they didn't say what exactly they broke the law on. Like,
it says there's another piece to this. It said the court found that Valve made the following false or misleading representations to customers in the terms and conditions contained in 3 versions of its Steam subscriber agreement and 2 versions of its Steam refund policy. Consumers were not entitled to a refund for digitally downloaded games purchased from Valve via the client. Valve had excluded statutory guarantees and or warranties that goods would be acceptable quality, and Valve had restricted or modified statutory guarantees and or warranties of acceptable quality. And apparently you are not allowed to do that. Because under Australian consumer law, all consumer goods and services come with an automatic consumer guarantee that they are of acceptable quality and fit for the purpose for which they were sold. If they are not, consumers have a right to a remedy, which may include refund, repair, or replacement in certain circumstances. These consumer rights cannot be excluded, restricted, or modified. So when they said that they weren't entitled to a refund, that was illegal because under Australian law, you can't exclude the right to a refund or whatever.
But you can refund on Steam, can't you?
This might not have been because they didn't offer refunds initially.
Oh yeah.
So I don't I don't even know when they started offering refunds. But this might have been from back then.
And see, if that happens, it seems like that's another weird thing to me is that going back to then and filing a lawsuit on how the business behaved back then, when you should have, if you had a problem with it, you should have actually addressed it whenever it was a problem. Not after it changed.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know when this
was
filed.
If that happens, yeah.
August 2014. So let's see if when did Steam start offering refunds? Yes. June 2nd of 2015. So sometime around June of 2015 is when they started offering refunds. And so this lawsuit was filed in 2014. So yeah, that was right before they started offering refunds.
And so the law just never got unfiled, I guess. Because if they now offer refunds and they're going to sue for not being able to offer refunds, someone fucked up.
Well, the lawsuit was still there, though.
True, but they just never got around to it. And one would think that after a couple of years, about 3 years, and the problem has been resolved, one would think that they would drop the charges.
Yeah, you would think.
This just goes to show that Australia is indeed backwards.
They're
Well, it is Australia. They did lose to an emu, so.
That's their secret weapon against Syria.
Russia has nukes. China's got a bunch of people for their armies. No, Australia's got emus. They got it.
They're like, nobody can fucking defeat these motherfuckers.
We couldn't defeat them. We know you can't. They're fucking Australia. They deal with spiders and snakes and shit.
I couldn't live in Australia, man. I would just be having a fucking heart attack every day I was in there.
Bro, I saw a roach earlier, and that shit, like, it took me like 5 minutes to try to get rid of it, and I didn't even want to deal with it.
I saw a video of a fucking spider in Australia that carried a fucking rat. Like, the spider carried a rat up a fucking refrigerator.
Yeah.
And just walked up the refrigerator with it, just holding this motherfucking rat. I'm like, that is not fucking right, man.
Killer emus. Basically, yeah. Like, Australia, I mean, you don't fuck with Australia. It won't be the people that kill you, it'll be the fucking animals.
Chris, whenever they say they will diverse individuals, that's code for saying no white people.
Well, yeah, this was gonna be the next thing.
Because white people aren't diverse.
There's an update for the James Damore lawsuit with Google. Google's reserving jobs for diverse individuals only. And they literally define diverse candidates as blacks, Hispanics, veterans, PWDs, and women and maintains quotas. That's not written right. And what was the other thing? And there was an email sent. Gina Coons, global marketing staff lead at Google, who manages a group of approximately 16 Google recruiters, sent an email entitled, "Please read new monthly global staffing meeting details." And like the email is a new project that aims to feature exceptional marketing talent to leadership in an effort to better socialize profiles across the business and find candidates a suitable home. Emphasis on diversity. 80% of talent featured should be diverse. Supplemental headcount program was a last-ditch strategy for getting diverse talent into Google when all other avenues had been exhausted. Oh.
Bro, go get it. Seriously though, fuck dealing with spiders, snakes, and all that shit.
I can deal with the snakes, but like if any of those spiders that I've seen on that video or in my house in Australia, I'd burn that fucking house down.
Burn the country.
Yeah, I would literally just start burning the fucking country until I cleared that fucking island full of nothing. There'd be no spiders left.
I fucking moved to New Zealand.
Too cold.
Fuck all that, man. It'd be better than fucking living with fucking spiders can carry you up a fucking refrigerator.
I mean, shit. Isn't cold like good against insects?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind the cold.
Yeah, I might be a southerner, but no, fuck all that. I make my kids kill spiders, man. And then whenever I call them, they're like, "It's just a spider, Dad." I'm like, "Quit fucking talking and just do it." I need to go to the bathroom and it's in there blocking me. I don't trust spiders, man. Spiders are fucking creepy. They're like Satan's spawn.
Ridiculous. And Agony has put out an announced trailer and launch date May 29th.
I don't even know what that game is about, man.
I don't either.
Like I've only heard about the outcry because the PC version will be censored because of the console ones. But I don't even know what it is and what's being censored or whatever. But the PC, they did come out and said the PC players will have a chance to like uncensor it, but the console players won't. Which, I mean, I honestly don't care, because if the gameplay is good and the story is good, then I mean, if I get to see a few less titties and shit like that, it's not going to affect my enjoyment of the game. So
I just don't like censoring.
I don't either.
Why are they censoring the console version?
Apparently
Because
there's so many tits and dicks and everything else in it that if it was to get a rating right now by the ESRB, it would rate it adult only. And obviously, you know they can't. That's one thing that it's kind of hard to sell an adult only title. So they're censoring it in order to be able to keep it in the M rating, to where they don't have to do the extra, the hurt sales because of the AO.
Alright.
And isn't it only going to be a digital only, or is there getting a physical release?
oh, I don't know.
Because I wouldn't think that digital only would affect, like the AO rating would affect the digital only title, but in a physical release, like GameStop couldn't carry an AO title, so it would have to go to an adult novelty store.
Yeah, I don't know.
Halo Stormy should be playing God of War right now, not no, 16-year-old game with Blinks.
What game?
He's playing Blinks.
I'm playing NGS5. I don't know how old this game is.
Well, it's newer. It's a hell of a lot newer than Blinks.
I should be playing God of War, right?
You definitely should. I mean, but y'all are peasants, so I really, I just have little faith that you'll actually ever become a gamer. Only true gamers play PlayStation 4. Like, that's just the way it is.
Halo Online got a major update as well.
Do people really care about Halo?
I don't know. Apparently, still getting
don't know.
updates. So
Man, but I don't know. I never cared.
See, I mean, I don't call you a peasant for that. I think I just call you smart.
What, for Halo? Or not?
For not really, not caring about Halo.
I never played Halo, so I only played a couple Halo. What were they? Some people brought over Halo to the PC, like it was like a Halo 3 mod. It was like a multiplayer mod that people brought over, and I played that for a little bit. But I can't. If that's anything like the original Halo games, then oh my god, I can't imagine how people played Halo.
Oh yeah, I honestly don't know. The only thing I ever played was that Halo Online on PC, but that map was, I mean, it's similar, I guess, to a Halo match, but it's like just in general, like it's not really a one-to-one type of comparison. But I mean, it did a pretty good job for building it, away from being able to use the game for reference. They just kind of built it off their own little thing. But I mean, I wouldn't judge the Halo Online any like mods that they use to create Halo on the PC as a representation of what Halo multiplayer is.
I know, and I was saying if it was though. Oh my god.
Yeah. I don't think it is, but I don't know about that mod. I've never seen it.
It was like a Halo 3 multiplayer mod. I don't know, Pete, you ever heard of that or no?
No.
I remember.
Oh, Pete, no.
I remember there being something about it, but I didn't play it or anything.
I tried it out, and it wasn't terrible as far as like as long as Halo and whatnot. I mean, it felt like it could have been a good game, but I couldn't get into it. And playing that, and if that's like playing Halo, then I don't understand how people play Halo.
And Halo Storm, no, I wouldn't care even if it was a PlayStation exclusive, because to me, Halo just puts me to fucking sleep. Every time I play Halo, I get bored as hell, but I don't play the multiplayer. The story just simply bores the shit out of me.
Did you play Killzone Shadowfall?
Very little bit of it. Like, that one kind of bored the hell out of me, too. So, I never played the multiplayer, though, but...
I remember playing Shadowfall a little bit. Not much, but I played a little bit of it.
It looked good. It just wasn't fun to me. I did buy it again, like during a sale for like, I don't know, like $2.99 or something like that. So I plan on going back and playing it, finishing the campaign. But in all honesty, I mean, it's kind of boring as hell too. It'll have to be one of those I'm bored as hell. What do I want to play type of days for me to go back and finish the campaign.
And then there's a teaser trailer for MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries Destruction out, which I don't know, because I loved MechWarrior 3 and MechWarrior 4, and I actually liked MechWarrior Online, but PGI messed up real good in that game, and they're the ones who are making MechWarrior 5.
I remember I played a MechWarrior game.
Oh, they're fun. Big giant mechs just blowing the ever-loving shit out of each other.
Well, Chris, the people, especially even here, tell me that Titanfall's campaign will surprisingly bring you like an emotional journey.
I don't know that.
I'm telling you,
it's kind
dude.
of weird. It's kind of weird to think about you have an emotional journey over a fucking mech, but
I'm telling you.
like,
can I spoil it just real quick?
Man.
'Cause the ending, supposedly your mech or whatever sacrifices itself at the end, but then
really, so you're gonna really put out a spoiler like that?
My bad. Hey, I said spoiler warning.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Oh, my bad. Well, I didn't even entirely spoil it. There's one part of the game I didn't even say that like made it pretty much null and void.
Okay.
Which I can go ahead and
No,
not
you're
say.
good. Yeah, you can not say it. Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Because I haven't finished it yet. Halo Storm, I watched Fatal Mephisto's video on that RoboCraft Infinity, and to me that just did not look fun at all. Like,
Alright, I'm gonna play some Outlast 2. So if you guys hear me scream and yell, then I mean I probably won't because Outlast 2 isn't scary, but just in case, just letting you know.
to me, Outlast 1 wasn't scary.
It was scary when I first played it, but I've beaten Outlast 1 like 5 times, and after a little bit, you tend to sort of memorize everything. Yeah, it doesn't get that scary, but when I first played it, Jesus Christ, I would say I was scared, but it was creepy.
Well, I mean, from what I remember, that game like kind of warns you something is about to happen because of the music, and
Yeah.
I hate whenever games or movies do that because like that takes the whole suspense of what's coming next out of the way. Because once that music starts playing, you're like, all right, something's about to happen. Look around.
Well, the reason I liked Outlast 1 was because what it did was it sort of created horror from some things in the gameplay. You didn't have to rely on, well, it did to an extent sometimes, but a lot of it was what they were trying to do is you have to try to hide from the enemy, and you know the horror comes from trying not to get caught. And they made you defenseless. You actually had to run and hide and do things like that to try to get around them. That's where the horror stemmed from. That's why I kind of like the game. I won't lie and say that there were times where it had to rely on jump scares or cheesy scares, because absolutely it did that. But I do like what they try to do. It's sort of like in Resident Evil 7 in a way, where you feel somewhat helpless, but you also can you can fight back, but most of the time you feel helpless. That's where the horror comes from. Although I haven't played through Outlast 2, I just know how it ends.
Did you watch a Let's Play or something?
No, I watched. You guys know the Everything Wrong With series that some people do, like, well, CinemaSins does for movies.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple channels that do that for games, and they're actually somewhat interesting. And they did one on Outlast 2, and I watched it because at the time I was like, I'm probably never gonna play Outlast 2. But then I got it with a Humble Bundle, and it's like, all right, I'll play.
Might as well now.
Might as well, yeah. Res 7 I played through a friend after game sharing. I thought I was never gonna play that game beforehand. But I played through it and not bad. I thoroughly enjoyed the game.
From what I understand, Resident Evil 7 is a really good Resident Evil.
It is. I don't know if you've played it or not. There's a lot of it.
I haven't yet.
A lot of it though, I didn't really care for. But as far as then again, I haven't played a Res 7 game, so I don't know, or not 7, Res Evil game. But as far as it goes, I've heard it stays true. There's a lot of it though that it just becomes a first-person shooter and not really a horror game near the end, which is kind of true. It does, but some people are into that, so.
I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of the Resident Evil games.
Neither have I. I just wanted to try out Res 7 because a friend had it and I could play it, so. And they kept encouraging me to play it, so I kept going through it, and I enjoyed the game. Wasn't bad.
The first one we played was a buddy's birthday party, and Jesus, man, I was like, I couldn't have been older than like 10. I don't even think I was that old. And fucking he got Resident Evil for his birthday, so we all sat around his TV and turned the lights off and fucking played that game. That was pretty fun.
I still don't know what the scariest game I've played is, though.
The only one that actually scared me is that teaser trailer for Silent Hills is called PT on PS4.
Oh, yeah. I think
that one actually made me drop my controller.
Oh, yeah. That was a creepy-ass game. Or, well, whatever you want to call it.
You need to play Fear 2.
I played Fear 1, but not Fear 2.
I think Fear 2 is the best of them.
Alright, I'll play Fear 2 then.
Yeah, Fear 1 was good, but it's aged. The graphics are definitely not great. And they designed Fear 2 a lot better. 3 was okay, but I don't think it captured the same oomph that the first and second ones had. But yeah, man, they were masters in Fear 2. They knew just how to do the opposite of what you expected. If you expected a jump scare or, you know, something coming at you or anything like that, you know, there'd be a while where you didn't, but then as soon as you weren't expecting it, that's when, you know, the chick would jump out at you, or you'd see her at the end of a hallway and she'd be like slowly crawling towards you, and yeah, it was great.
I'm trying to think of other horror games that I've played. Because the only memorable ones was Outlast and Resident Evil 7. And PT, of course, but that... I don't know if I really consider that a game, but it was definitely fun. Well, you know, in the horror sense.
What is PT?
So back on PlayStation, this is a little while ago, they released it was short for playable trailer for a new Silent Hill game.
Oh, okay.
And there was one that Kojima was working on before Konami decided to scrap it.
Lovely.
And they had to scrap it because I don't know why.
Because they decided to make pachinko games.
Yeah, they were cutting funding to a lot of their developers, and they kind of just turned their back and snubbed their nose on one of the ones that actually made them who they are.
I know, right? I mean, seriously, besides Silent Hill and Metal Gear, I mean, what else is Konami, except for like the really old ones? Because like didn't Konami make Contra, I think?
Yep.
Yeah.
They made a lot of
they made a lot of the older ones, the arcadey type games, and then the
Konami Code, my guy.
NES and all that stuff. But I mean, as far as modern games go, yeah, like Silent Hill and Metal Gear, like those are the only ones that I can really think of.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get something to drink.
Fucking,
what?
oh, just fucking Konami.
Tell you, man, they deserve all the hate they got, man.
Yeah. And Steam just released Pixel Punk XL, kind of a retro 6 Degrees of Freedom shooter. It's only like $3.19 right now. Looks pretty cool if you're into those sort of games.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, and then did you guys hear about the Smallville actress,
Which one?
Allison
Yeah,
Mack,
which one?
Who'd she play?
the blonde that was the friend?
No, I haven't heard anything about.
What happened?
She was arrested for being part of a sex cult that kidnapped or whatever and groomed, I think, other actors and shit.
What?
Yep.
I would have never got that from her. Wow.
Smallville actress Allison Mack has been arrested for her alleged role in notorious upstate sex slave cult NXIVM. Sources told The Post on Friday. She will appear Friday in Brooklyn. I think they mean next Friday. In Brooklyn Federal Court. Mack, 35, was last seen chasing after the cult's leader Keith Raniere as cops hauled him away from the villa in Mexico where they had been hiding out.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw an article, like they had an article about it in Jezebel, and yeah. So
See, what's funny too is my dad actually started recently getting back into watching Smallville after like years. And it's funny now you say that because I don't know how far they've gotten along with it with the show, but Jesus Christ.
apparently they would brand the members. So like once you were, I don't know, like a full member, or if you were a slave, or I don't know how it worked, but they would fucking brand you.
Wow.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
I mean, a lot of celebrities recently have gotten involved with a lot of scandals, so I mean, it's. I would say I'm surprised, but I'm kind of not.
The sex cult has some weird rules, like being fed tapeworms to stay twig thin, and regular beatings on the hindquarters if texts aren't answered on Mistress's timeline. Yeah, Chris, I don't know. It was all right. I never got into it. It's not like it was horrible or anything, but uh, it
What,
was,
Smallville?
yeah. I mean,
No.
it was an interesting take on, Superman as a teenager and all that, but yeah.
I know my mom loved the show like close to about 10 years ago, but other than that, I think I've only seen the first season of it, and that's about it. It just felt like so much of a like soap opera or something, drama. I didn't care for it.
Yeah, it was kinda.
It's like this isn't what I want from a Superman-based show. It felt like I don't know what you'd really call it. Like you know that show Supernatural, how it seems like there's about 20 episodes per season, and everything is sort of dealing with a different story of sorts, things like that. That's how Smallville felt. Some people liked it. I just, it didn't grab my attention. It didn't feel like Superman.
Everybody keeps talking about Parks and Recreation.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
I don't know. It just looks stupid to me.
What's the dude's name? He's the dude with the mustache. He's like an ass to everybody. I forgot his name.
On Parks and Recreation?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen it, so.
I know. I've only seen. I think one time I saw like I can't remember. I think I was watching like clips from The Office on YouTube out of boredom. It was like 3 in the morning. Don't judge me. And then I saw that it was like Parks and Recreation. I can't remember the dude's name, but he had like a mustache. He was like a condescending ass to everybody. And it was like clips from the show with him, and that's the only amount of Parks and Recreation that I think I've ever seen. It's just random clips of him.
His name in the show is Ron Swanson, but
That's his name.
But
yeah.
Chris doesn't know his real name.
Yeah, that's what his name is. Yeah.
See, there's not a whole lot of news lately.
Yeah.
Oh, Owen Benjamin got banned from Twitter and then got a letter from Patreon.
About what?
Oh, some joke he made on Twitter. Yeah, so I mean, obviously the ban on Twitter, but then he was threatened basically by Patreon. I can't remember what exactly it said, but just kind of pretty much a don't do this kind of thing again or something like that. So.
Well, he just said a joke, and that's it.
Yeah, I think it was because it was he made fun of David Hogg. Something along the lines of, who is this kid who doesn't even have pubic hair telling grown men how to live their lives? Hilarious, right?
It's not. I wouldn't say hilarious, but it was a good jab.
I think it's pretty funny. But yeah, so I guess people complained. Because of course people are going to complain.
What was it regarding? Like, what was the joke making fun of?
Well, just David Hogg, that he was, advocating against rights.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to think of who David Hogg was. I didn't click who he was, but yeah, I remember him now.
Yeah, so, some hate mob petitioned Patreon, which is funny because, I mean, the lead, the head, the CEO, whoever of Patreon has, he's said multiple times, and even on like a Rubin Report interview that, oh, don't worry about, we don't care what other people think. We don't care, about blah, blah, blah. Obviously you do, bruh. So that'll be interesting to see what comes out of that, because, shit, man. There's a lot of people that use Patreon. Oh. Alright, guys. I'm getting pretty fucking tired. My stomach's starting to hurt. So unless y'all got anything else, I'm just gonna call it.
Alright.
Oh. Thanks everybody for watching.
Yep.
We'll see you next week.
Wednesday it is.
Peace.